Hi again, everyone. It's Anne and Judy coming at you from Prince George at Active Health Solutions. And this is our fourth and final video in our breast cancer series post-surgery. So after a partial or full mastectomy. And this video is to build strength. So hopefully you've increased your range of motion and kept your movement and are starting to rebuild back some of your range of motion after your surgery. But this is about 4 to 6 to 8 weeks post-surgery so that you can start building some strength again. So keeping the weights light. So if you have weights at home, you can buy 1 and 2 pound weights we've seen at Canadian Tire. Superstore has some light weights as well. And for example, sports stores would have them as well. So even 3 and 5 pound weights, we've seen 4 pound weights in there, or you can do bands, and we'll show you both of those. You're gonna keep it in the 8 to 12 repetitions area, and when you can do those 8 to 12 reps comfortably and you're not straining, then you can move your weight up. But don't go too gung-ho on us too early. Work on both sides, and caution to you that if you do have one arm that's not as strong as the other, wait until they're both at the same level before upping your weight. So we're gonna get started with our strength building, and hopefully you've gone out, you've been able to garden or do some light activity, walking for sure to get you warmed up, but we're gonna show you a warm-up today. So Judy's gonna get going here. She's gonna start with some rotations. So we're gonna do about 6 of these. Right, rotation, because it's both sides, you do about 12 rotations here. And after she's done about 6 on either side, she's gonna show you some weed pulls. That's what we call them. So it's like a squat, and then up you go, and you're gonna stay 6 on one side. And so we're working in lots of different planes of movement. We're working in some weird directions and with some funny muscles that if you've been out for a walk and you've done some arm swings and things like that, you probably haven't moved rotationally or diagonally, and that's where these exercises are designed, because you're working in different directions, which is important. So after her 6th one here, it must be getting close, that's 6, she's gonna step forward and do a lunge with a row, almost a row here. So you've got 6 of those. Lunge and pull it back. Lunge, pull it back. That's good. You can get gung-ho with these. That's great. And when she's done 6, then you switch from a down. You start like a little crouch, and then up you go. So 6 of these little sweeps. Up, push off that back foot so that you're warming up your Achilles tendon, your calf muscles. Whoop, there we go. Up we go. And then after 6, she's going to sink it back and do a toe tap. It's got the balance bonus prize, so, we're working on that too.
I guess you could do it touching the wall.
Yeah, you could do it on the wall as well. If you're finding like you're wobbling around, absolutely. Don't make this so crazy on yourself that you're going to fall and hurt something. Don't do that. So a few toe taps, and then she's going to switch legs. Okay, so then the other leg goes forward, and she's going to start with the lunge, and then the big row back. Open up her chest. Looks good. 6, and then she's going to sink it back and shoot it on up. Good. Sink it back into a toe tap. So hopefully you've activated, this is the hamstring back there, and you're just tapping it out. That's wonderful. And then a plie squat, last one. We're gonna sink it down and then do a snow angel, like those angel arms. Up you go. And then after this one, we are ready to get lifting some weights. So Judy's over a year post-surgery, about a year and a half, I believe. And so she's already moved up to these nice 5-pound weights because she's been back with us for quite a long time, post-COVID, not post-COVID, but since we've been able to open back up safely. So we've got lots of weights to pick from. So she's going to grab the 3s or the 5s, and we're going to start with some bicep curls. So you want those elbows in, hands facing forward, and there's no flinging, there's no bouncing, there's no hipping. She's just isolating this muscle in the front of her arm. So this is a bicep curl. And again, we're going about 8 to 12. You want to feel like that bicep muscle is doing the work it's designed to do. And when we cheat and we fling and we do other things, then we add other muscles in there that don't belong. We want to isolate the bicep curl. So that's the first one. The second one is a tricep extension. So what we're working on is the opposite muscle on the back side of the arm, and she's going to tip forward and extend straight out. So you bend at the elbow, and that's the only thing that bends. Everything else stays the same. And she's poking her bum out, nice flat back there. And she's trying to feel that squeeze on the back of her arm. That's that tricep muscle. So you're going to do 8 to 12 tricep extensions. 2 more. Okay. Now, we might have to go to lighter weights. For me, I would, because I feel like I'm weak in this next one. And this is a V-raise. So the V-raise is, you want to, with thumbs up, so your dumbbells are pointing up, and you're going to come out 45, and you're going to end up in like a letter V. And so you're going to come down, and up you go. We call them scaption, but in your book, it's called a V-raise. And again, you may have imbalances depending on where you've had your surgery and how you're feeling right through your chest muscles. So really be mindful of your posture. We're not hunching over. We're not flinging weights up. We're just doing a nice gentle V-raise. We don't want our shoulders to sneak up as well. Looks good. I know, we got talking. Sorry about that. The next one is a bent over row. So from here, she's going to sort of slide her hands up towards her armpits, and her upper arm is going to kind of skim the upper part of her body. This is a bent over row. And again, 8 to 12 of those. So this is a pulling motion. So this is a pull that we want to do with weights. And the opposite is the push. So a push-up would be next. So you can do that on the wall or on the floor, whatever you're feeling. We've done a few of these already. Let me see if she's still in frame. Oh, yeah, barely. We're not super savvy with the iPad sometimes. So push-ups. Again, your hands are going to be not at eye level. They're just below eye level, and she's using the wall and squeezing these little muscles on either side of her spine together. And however far you get your feet away from the wall is going to dictate how strenuous this activity is. So that's your push. So we've done a pull, that's our row, and our push. And then the next one is an overhead press. So she's going to go back to her weights, and this is an overhead press right there. Excellent. Now, if you don't have light enough weights to get you started, people can use soup cans. People can use water bottles filled with water. And as you get a little more gung-ho, put some rocks in there. Like, there's lots of different ways to do this if you can't find weights that are light enough. But we do have, like I said, 1 and 2 pound weights. They're out there. Okay, after her overhead press, we're going to come down to floor level, and we'll show you a few on the floor. The first one is a chest press. So it's similar to your push-up, but we're doing it on the floor. So her arms are out to the side, straight right here, and it's just going straight up. Yeah, and then you're going to bend. So not necessarily with rotation, just come straight down there and push straight up. Let me just check and see if we're in the in the camera. There we go, now we're set. So that's a chest press. So if you're feeling gung-ho and you want to get down to floor level, we worked on getting down to floor level in video number 3. So hopefully you're working on that because that will help with your recovery. And then it's a chest fly. So we're open and then you're going to hug a barrel. You want to make sure that you're keeping those arms a little rounded. This is our chest fly. That looks great. And again, depending on where you've had your surgery, right? It may be a little tender, maybe still in recovery mode. So go light until you're able to do this one with a little heavier weight. And again, I think she's using 3s there, so it's a perfect amount of weight. That's wonderful. So that's chest fly. And the last one is you're going on your side and you're doing your external rotation here. So elbows onto the side and we're just, yeah, and we're up 90 degrees here and then it's coming straight down. So this is external rotation at the shoulder, right there. Looks good. And so this one now, because everything else was two-handed, you could bang out your 8 pretty quick, and now she's got it in one hand, so she's going to have to do 8 on the one side and then roll over and do 8 on the other side. So this one will take you a little bit more time. There we go, 8 and 8. And I find this one, because our muscles in our shoulder, we have a lot of small little connective tissue, small little muscles that keep that shoulder functional. These need to be really lightweight, and lots of people like to fling these weights around. Be really deliberate and go nice and slow. Don't go too crazy. Okay, now we just wanted to show you some band stuff. So I'm moving the camera. So we have a mount at the studio here at about the 4-foot level, and we have 3 different bands hooked up. So we've got a green one, which is the lightest, red's the medium, and blue's the heaviest. So we're not going to use that one. But it's very easy to get a band, and again, you can buy them, right? Like I've seen them at Canadian Tire and Superstore. And hook one in, and I would put it on the hinge part of your door and then close the door, because if the hinge catches it, it won't slide down on you. So you would just close that, and now you've got an anchor point right in your house. So for not a lot of money, these are less than 20 bucks, you do have an opportunity to do a band. So we'll just show you a few of these exercises with the band. So, and the nice thing about these is that even a band, right, depending on how far away from the wall you get, you can create your own tension. So she's going to start, first of all, with, I'll change the camera in 1 second. She's going to start with bicep curls and tricep press downs. If you want to turn, yeah, just because then we can show you. There we go. So that looks great. That's a bicep curl. So you would have to go, now you're in single-sided training, so you have to do 8. And then 8 on the other side, or 12 and 12, like we were saying. So bicep curl, and then we're going to show you a tricep extension. Tricep extension, yep, right straight back. Bend at the elbow, press it back. Excellent. Okay, then we're going to switch it after you're done there to the green one, just because this one's a little bit trickier. It's called the half snow angel. So hand up, and you're going to draw a nice big circle. And we go up, and you're creating a little tension on that band, and it's very tricky, this one. I find it's just your shoulder poops out really quickly because of the different movements, right? You're adjusting to this big Big rotation. So there you go. You're going to do a couple of those on either side. So that's a half snow angel.
So if I move closer,
If you move closer, it takes some of the slack off. It's a little easier. So it's a little tricky because if you are using a weight, you kind of know, well, you move from 3 to 5. But the band, you would do all of your exercises with the same band, and you just start adjusting and going a little further away from your anchor point. So if you can close it into a door, then it's pretty good. And then the next one is a chest fly. So you're in a letter T, facing sideways, and you're going to hug your barrel. So it's the same thing we did on the floor. Same thing we did on the floor. And this is with your band. So this is a banded chest fly. Yes, and then you'd spin around and do the same thing on the other side. Hug your barrel. We just have a couple more to show you, and then you can do a cool down using video number 1. That looks great. And then if you want to, because we're going to do a row, so you might want to go back up to your little heavier band. But again, if you had one band, you would just go further away from the wall. So you're going to pull and do a row. So you're facing and a one-handed row. Yes, so this is our, we did a bent over row. Now we have a one-handed row. She's just doing 6. She just said she's just doing 6. So, and again, if you start with one set of these, that's great. And then if you wanted to do more, you just rewind back to the start of bands and you can do a second set. So as you're feeling a little stronger and a little more gung-ho, you can do one set, then 2 sets. And then bench press, so you're facing out and you're going to push away from the wall here. There you go. And if you want to add the step, that's going to add a little bit more core. That looks good. So that's a bench press or a single arm. We call them a punch. Maybe it's a stress reliever for you. Yeah, a punch. Woohoo! And then, so that's again as a bench press, and she's doing 6 of those. Opposite foot steps forward. Looks wonderful. Okay, and the last one we wanted to show you, and this one necessarily isn't an upper body exercise, but it's for core, and we'll do some rotations, so holding, and then we're just turning both directions. So you want your arms out in front of you to start, and then you're going left and right, and activating those muscles that turn your trunk, so they're right here. These ones are your obliques, and those are the ones we're working on with this exercise, this rotation. But again, it's super valuable. So you can always feel free to do more core. We had some other examples of exercises in our other videos. If you're looking for stretches after all of this, you can go to our other videos, especially video 1 would be helpful. And I think that's about it from us. So that's 4 videos that should take you to about almost 2 months post-surgery. And thank you for watching, and thanks from Judy and myself. And this was a project that we had done in memory of both of our moms who lost their battle with cancer. And this is Judy's victory lap because she is a breast cancer survivor. Thanks.